These men are First Amendment auditors. They record their interactions with police and government employees and post them online. They identify themselves as independent journalists. And on Friday, they went to Sergeant Brian Fahey's home with questions about his overtime, and they left under arrest.
Get off my f***ing property.
Get that gun out of your hand.
Get off my f***ing property.
Get that gun out of your
hand. I'm a Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care who you are.
In the initial moment, I just didn't want to be shot.
Let me see your driver's license, or I'm going to pull you out of your car.
That you impugn their honor to the point that a rational person would have to respond by slapping you in the face.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Give me your name and badge number. Get back. Stop that music. I'm in a public place. I can film whatever I can see. Photography is not a crime. Photography is not a crime! Photography is not a crime!
Let the record show that you just battered me. Step back. And you're using... Oh! Oh!
I'd like to welcome you to the John Legato Show. I'm John Legato. This is a third in a series of Sean Reyes' vendetta. That's an Italian thing, a vendetta, against Connecticut State Trooper Fahey. Brief excerpts from part 1 and 2. Sean Reyes visits the home of Trooper Fahey. Now, this is a serious breach of etiquette. For example, the mafia would kill any adversary in a nanosecond, but never involve their family.
Get off my fucking property!
I don't care who you are.
Right now!
You spit in my face!
My property
You're
right
going
now.
to jail now.
Get
Look
off
at this.
My property
Look
right
at
now.
this. He spit in my
Get off
face.
My
you ever arrested somebody for spitting in someone's face before?
You are.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
I understand the question. I'm not going to get into any particulars. I appreciate the question. Trooper Fahey came back outside with a gun in his right hand.
Get that gun out of your hand, you
goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
Charged me, got in my face, and bumped me. He then proceeded to spit in my face.
You are.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
I would like to speak to somebody in professional standards, internal affairs. Before you request, I just want to make sure that you guys are the holder of all these records. Records for the 911 call audio. This is the door that I was released from after spending approximately 5-6 hours in a cell. They think it's
Today we're at the Groton Police Department here in the state of Connecticut, Corrupticate. We are here today not only to peacefully exercise our First Amendment rights, but to file a formal internal affairs complaint against all of the officers involved in the injustice that took place on July 11th at Sergeant Brian Fahey's residence, where he approached me aggressively with a firearm, bumped into me, and spat in my face, yet myself and my cameraman were unlawfully and unjustly arrested.
But Reyes and his photographer wind up being booked, charged with breach of peace, voyeurism with malice, and criminal trespass.
These are baseless charges, and the real criminal should be arrested and charged.
Just imagine you're at home and someone comes onto your porch and attempts to film you inside your house. Now, in Texas, this could end very badly for you, but it demonstrates how far Reyes has gone far afield in First Amendment auditing. This is a vendetta against one man. Now, according to Reyes, the guy in the green shirt is an active duty police officer. If he isn't an active duty police officer, he can be arrested for impersonating an officer. But if he is an active duty police officer, then he also must be a cop hater, since Sean didn't put him on a panel with him and his attorney for an opposing view. Listen up.
Right. So for me as a cop, I'm like, I've got nothing. I got nothing. You could be there as long as the hours of operation are open. I can't say a damn thing about it. Like, hey, how you doing? Okay, I figured out what you needed, but you can keep standing there if you want. I was going to say, and I think kind of your ultimate goal when you do this type of stuff, at least the impression that I've got from you, is to learn. And you gave him an opportunity to learn. And I think that was a great learning tool for him, because that 0 to 5 year mark for a cop, that's what I call rookies. You know, I've been at it almost 20 years. So that's a rookie that you just dealt with. And he got a hard lesson really quick that he's never going to make again. You just made a better cop. The thing that we like to show officers is that we're all capable of being emotionally hijacked. When you're thinking logically and reasonably, you are thinking with the frontal lobe, which, you know, typically doesn't finish developing until you're around 25 years old if you're a male. So that is something that we like to point out because we are hiring officers at 21 and over. So we start talking about literally when you get emotionally hijacked, you are no longer thinking with the right part of your brain. You switch from the frontal lobe to a different part of your brain where that emotional lizard brain stuff starts to take over. He had an unmet expectation, and that caused him to go from that logical point of view and reasonableness to that emotional hijack. You did something he didn't have an answer for.
Eric the cop is talking about Sergeant Fahey, basically accusing him of being a loose cannon. But I wonder what Eric would do if Glenn Serio or Chili walks onto his front porch and points a camera inside his house. What would any man do, especially if the person on your porch is an ex-con who hates you? Your first instinct is to protect your family. Eric.
He had an unmet expectation, and that caused him to go from that logical point of view and reasonableness to that emotional hijack. You did something he didn't have an answer for. You called his bluff. And we know you're very good at, I don't want to use the term gaslighting because I don't think it's necessarily gaslighting, but holy shit, can you get under somebody's skin by being polite? I mean, you're literally, it's the Bugs Bunny theory put to work. You kiss him with kindness and it drives Elmer Fudd nuts. And that's what you did there.
The police arrive at Sergeant Fahey's residence.
Yeah.
In my face, you're
Don't
going to
ever
jail.
come back to
You're
my
going to jail.
fucking house
You're
again.
going to jail.
Don't ever
You're
come
going
back
to
to my
jail.
house
It's okay
again.
for you to assault people and break people's property, but I can't ask questions about your overtime. About your overtime, $75,000 for a desk job. More than that, right? More than that. I'm gotta go. What a crazy psychopath. He spit in my face. Hey, sir, how are you? So is there any updates on, you know, because obviously I want to press charges for him spitting in my face that I showed the sergeant here on camera. So what's going to happen with that?
So we went through the assault statute specifically, and there's nothing that specifically states that spitting on somebody is an assault unless it caused you physical pain.
Alex, your thoughts on that?
Now, Attorney Alex is going to reach way down in the BS lawyer bag to come up with physical pain. And if you listen carefully, you can hear it in his voice as he fabricates something to do with pain, but he can't quite make it. Listen up.
So we went through the assault statute specifically, and there's nothing that specifically states that spitting on somebody is an assault unless it caused you physical pain.
Alex, your thoughts on that statement as an attorney in Connecticut?
No, that's wrong.
So when I read the statute, it seemed to me that it's also risk of, right? It's risk of pain. At least that's how, when I read it, that's what I saw. So why do you think that's wrong? Why do you, what is the language in the statute that would allow him to be charged?
Well, it depends on which statute you're talking about, but assault in the third degree requires some physical injury, but the amount of physical injury that is required can be very, very slight, and the spit hitting your face would be enough. But there are other crimes as well.
He tried hard, but he couldn't quite get there.
So he could spit on me, in my face and in my mouth, and that's not against the law?
Circumstances, I'm saying that it doesn't really fit the assault charge.
How do you?
Yeah, so listen up as Alex, the unbiased cop hater, comes to Reyes' defense.
That's assault all day long. I can get it as low as simple assault for offensive contact, but it's the intentionalness behind it that makes a difference. It's the culpable mental mind states that he was aiming and spitting directly into your mouth, eyes, and nose. So to me, that's more of an attempt to harm.
Right.
So in my opinion, I would rather maybe go for a little higher than a Class B. Obviously, I'm not, like your attorney saying, not necessarily a felonious amount. That's going to be harder to prove without more. So a Class B or higher, maybe even a Class A. But yeah, I would have hooked. I will tell you guys right now, he would have been going to jail for the spitting. It would have taken me time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to act like I would have been like, oh, yep, hooked up, boom. I would have looked at all of that stuff. All that we've talked about. This would have been a 2-3 hour freaking investigation out there on that cul-de-sac.
So there is no charge. You're telling me, as a sergeant of the Groton Police Department, you're telling me there is no charge for a grown man spitting in another grown man's
telling
face.
you that it doesn't fit assault.
Well, what does it fit? Isn't that your job to find out?
Yes. Bro, you're not leaving there until I get a charge.
What Alex, the cop, is actually saying is, you're not leaving there until I can arrest Sergeant Fahey. That's what he's actually saying. Listen.
Isn't that your job to find out?
Yes. Bro, you're not leaving there until I get a charge.
That's 100% his job, Sean.
No, brother, I'm messing with you.
I really do try to keep cops playing to a minimum, but no. In this case, you know, the thing that I'd like to focus on the most is how do you treat any other journalist?
The judge implied that I was just going around harassing people and calling it journalism.
This officer is delusional. I mean, how do you treat any other journalist? Well, a journalist would not come onto a porch of a private home. They would do the interview at the cop's employment, even if they had to ambush him with questions. That's how you would do it, Eric. Well, Sean must have encouraged his fans to call the Groton PD.
Look, they all see me out here. And you know, I will say, the entire time that I'm standing out here, I heard the police communications officer answering phone calls, one after the other, saying, I understand that you're upset about the incident. It was all regarding the incident, so I appreciate each and every one of you for peacefully exercising your First Amendment right to petition your grievances.
Well, tomorrow, July 25th, Sean will be arraigned for his visit to Sergeant Fahey's house at the Groton County Courthouse or whatever. So you might want to go down there if you're in the area.
If you can, please show up for my arraignment on July 25th at the New London Courthouse at 10 a.m. We will be peacefully protesting this injustice. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, we've been into it and it smells. So you know what? Sean, you went to his home to bait and harass Sergeant Fahey. But you would never do that minus your camera, Sean. Think about that. That's my take. The John Legato Show is being brought to you from right outside the gates of Camp Lejeune in beautiful North Carolina. Please subscribe and like. I'd appreciate it. Semper Fidelis.